where do we go from here? A lesser fantasy coach wouldn't know what to do. But see, luckily I am with not 2, but now 3 gurus. They're in the building. And guys, like I mentioned earlier, Nahim Hines is on my team. I got him on a couple. He's doing terrible. I need to go to the waiver wire, man. So I am coming. I'm going to go clockwise. So David, waiver wire, what you got, man?
Sorry, starting with me.
See that? Yeah, right.
Well, I definitely focused on running backs this week, simply because of the amount of running backs that are hurt and or on a bye. I mean, Sid just gave you the full list, but Zeke, Dalvin Cook, Najee Harris, James Robinson, Austin Eckler, both Moss and Singletary, and then Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt both being out. So we got Dearness Johnson. Obviously, he has not had an opportunity to show us what, if anything, he can do. But for a team that is so focused on the running game, and as we just found out today, Baker Mayfield will be taking a seat. I expect him to have a huge workload. They do have the other back over there, Felton.
Yep.
But he's more of a pass catcher.
Yep. He's got 2 carries all season.
What's that?
He's got 2 carries all season. The rest are catches.
So I definitely think Dearness Johnson is worth the pickup, especially if you had Chubb or Kareem Hunt. Because if he balls out this week and either one of those guys goes down again, you're looking at a viable backup. And then Michael Carter over with the Jets. Now, Dearness Johnson, 2.5%. He is owned in 2.5% of the leagues out there. So I would definitely go and get him. These next 2 are owned in a lot more of the leagues, but I think they're viable options for this week. Michael Carter, 52% of the carries in his last start. He went for 10 carries for 38 yards, 3 for 3 targeted and caught for 20 yards and 1 touchdown. He's had 3 targets per game since week 2, so that's nothing new there. And he is highly touchdown reliant, though. And I tend to stay away from players who are touchdown reliant. I want workhorses. I want production through yards and catches, because those are much easier to sustain week from week. And Latavius Murray over in Cincinnati, they're playing Cincinnati. He's had increased targets for the last 2 weeks, and he's had touchdowns in 4 out of 6 games. Again, pretty touchdown reliant, but I mean, if you're missing any one of these big names and you've got an open spot on your roster, definitely look at these guys. Those were just the top 3. There are a lot of backup running backs who are going to be getting looked at this week. Those were the few that I looked over and I liked. My one wide receiver was Rashad Bateman. He had 6 targets, which led all Baltimore receivers in his debut. Now, for all those folks out there that still don't think that Lamar Jackson is a quarterback and he can't throw, Lamar,
but yet still start him.
Hey, I got me 11 points.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
it was an ugly game. All right, Sid.
It was an ugly game that they put up 30 in.
You spoiled that. But no, I think that'll be very interesting to see if Bateman can really develop that rapport with Lamar, because if he does, and then you've got Bateman and Hollywood Brown with Mark Andrews, I think the Ravens' passing attack could actually become something to really fear. So that's all I got for you.
Nice. Sid, what you got, man?
All right, did my usual. Went through my 6 leagues, looked at guys that were available. Now they're not available in all of them, but they were at least available in some of them. So can't guarantee they'll be available in your league, but I mean, like we were talking about, it's by Mageddon. If you can find somebody with a pulse, you got to start them almost. I mean, look at David's league. So for quarterbacks, Derek Carr was available in at least 2 of my leagues. So, I mean, again, all those teams have starting quarterbacks that are on buys that are fantasy quarterbacks. So if you need a quarterback, he's one. I got him. Tua's a great stream this week. Tua's not somebody that you're going to want to start every week, but he's got a great matchup this week. And he threw for over 300 yards last week. So if you can do that on this 1 week where somebody's on a bye or whatnot, definitely something to think about. I did have Teddy Bridgewater marked down. I like Teddy. The secondary of the Browns is very bad. The only thing is, I see with everybody that's out for Cleveland's offense, this is going to be a game where I don't think a lot of points are going to be scored, and I don't think they're going to have to throw the ball a lot. I think it's going to be run it, get a lead, and keep running it. Their defense, I mean, the Browns are questionable or out. Both tackles, center, quarterback, 2 receivers, both running backs. So I don't see them putting up a lot of points. So I think if the Broncos get a lead early, they're not going to pass as much. But, I mean, Teddy could be a streamer if you need somebody. As for running backs, on top of what David said, I would look at just possibly, if you need somebody, Rashad Penny for Seattle. He was on IR, but he should be coming back. Alex Collins is hurt. He's not ruled out yet, but he's questionable. So if he's not in, Rashad Penny should be the guy. And again, you're just looking at a guy with a pulse. It's like you got to stream somebody. This is the type of game where if you have Miles Sanders, we've told you all year not to start Miles Sanders, but with all the running backs out, this is a game you start Miles Sanders, and this is why you have him on your bench. J.D. McKissick was on a couple waivers. Pick him up. Antonio Gibson's got a shin issue, and McKissick is a great receiving back. So if he's available, definitely a great streamer. Again, not available in all my leagues, but he was in some, so definitely viable. On top of Rashard Bateman, we talked about Tim Patrick earlier. David's been talking about Tim Patrick all year, saying he doesn't like him. Hey, all the dude does is produce. So 10-plus points.
I told you last week.
Hey, again, and he's still available in leagues. Like if you need a guy, he's out there. And then the other receiver I had marked down was T.Y. Hilton. He came out of the game due to a quad injury, but they think it was just management because they were up big in that game. They didn't think he needed to play anymore. But he did have a big bomb, which is T.Y.'s specialty. Carson loves to throw those. So if you need a receiver, I like T.Y. a lot. As for tight ends, I like the same 2 I did last week. I did add one. Zach Ertz, who I said last week, much better passing offense. Obviously, they don't have a tight end. That's why they signed him. Now, I don't see him getting a lot of playing time this week, obviously, because he just got there. But if you can get him, stash him, or if you just need to stream him this week, I guarantee they have a package of at least 20 plays for him this week, and that might be all you need at tight end. Obviously, Pat Freiermuth, we talked about him earlier. He's on bye. Just kidding, not him. The other one I have is Ricky Seals-Jones for Washington. Sean talked about him last week. He did step in just as good as Logan Thomas. Got a touchdown last week. That's all you can ask for from a tight end. So if he's available and you need one, I like him a lot as well. Again, these aren't guys that you're going to pick up and start every week and win a game with, but just streamers this week for Buy-Mageddon. All of them, I think, could hopefully get you through the week and maybe get you a win because everybody is hurting, not just you, I promise. We all have people out. So it's whoever can pick up the best. And, hey, squeaking out a win this week could win you a league, can get you in the playoffs and get you a chance to win it. Could come down to one game. So you don't want to just give up like man up here.
Yeah. That's right. And I'll take that W in the resurgence.
Exactly.
Dalton, man, you got anybody in the waiver wire you want people to pick up or look at?
So I agree with the tight end, Seals-Jones. With the other guy going down on IR, that's just going to give him more opportunity. Heineke is going to go to that safety net because he's probably going to continue getting hit.
Yes.
So he needs to make his life a little bit easier. Just dump it off real quick, let him get a few yards. So we can at least get some catches and probably some red zone looks if they can get down there. Running back wise, Devontae Booker, since the Giants don't know what's happening because of Saquon, he seems like a safe bet for right now until Saquon decides if he's actually going to show up and play or if he's just going to ride the bench again all year. Let's see. After that, though, gets really hard because Cole Beasley, not an every week guy, but every once in a while, Josh Allen's going to be like, "You're my man today," since Diggs is maybe double covered or something. So just pick him up if you watch what defense they're playing. That'll be all you need to know. And then possibly for another tight end, Jared Cook's not a bad look.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got for your waiver wire. Not too much at this point in the season.
Oh yeah, it's getting to be crunch time. This is when the real fantasy coaches come out, and not just the people that think that they could draft well. This is when you have to start getting into the back and forth, the nitty gritty, the nerdy stuff. And this is when forfeits begot victories for some people. I'll take it. Now, if I lose this week, I'm not coming on the show next week. I'm just letting y'all know that right now. All right? I will resign if I can't even beat him with all those people on bye. All right, I'm just saying. Let's go. So, we have to move on. And actually, so we do not have any of the fan questions this week. We can move into the bets, but did you guys have anything you guys want? I did want to post something to the group, actually. Nahim Hines, I've talked about him earlier in the show. He has consistently been, I know he's consistently giving me like under, 7 points, like under like 6, 5 points, something like that. I know he's one of those kind of like where he's very touchdown dependent. And he's had situations like last year where he got like 3 touchdowns in a game in certain games, but he's not something consistent. But with Jonathan Taylor, is it safe to drop a Nahim Hines?
Yeah, I think with the emergence of Jonathan Taylor, especially in the pass game, because that's where Nahim Hines really thrived, with him emerging there, that he just looks like the bell cow. So barring a Taylor injury, I don't think Hines is ever going to make it to your starting lineup. So I think he's a handcuff at this point.
Yeah.
Exactly. If you don't have Jonathan Taylor, then I don't see the point in keeping him. Maybe as trade bait, something to sweeten the pot for whoever does have Jonathan Taylor. Mm-hmm. I make it a rule every year. My 2 stud running backs, my top 2 picks, I go after their backups. I drafted Chuba Hubbard and ended up dropping him because I was going to go back and get him in like a week or 2, but I needed the roster spot. McCaffrey got hurt. I think Sid picked him up. I also had Edwards-Hilaire's backup. So, that's your value for him at this point, man. I would make the move for move him to whoever has Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Sid said, just try to put him in a trade package just to sweeten the deal.
Exactly.
But you're not going to get legitimate value out of him points wise. You're going to regret putting him in your lineup.
Right.
Absolutely. That's something that Dalton and Dylan just did. You gave him what backup did you give him?
Oh, what was our trade again?
You gave him the handcuff to one of his running backs to sweeten that deal, and that was kind of one of the tipping points for Dylan, where on face value, the value wasn't really there until you realized that that running back was the handcuff to one of his guys. We actually fielded a question about that last week, in where somebody was offering Cook and Madison together, which I thought was, that's huge. That's huge, knowing that if Dalvin Cook goes down, you got Madison coming in, and you're solid. The chances of both of those guys getting hurt and being out is pretty low. So, those using the backups and to sweeten trades is pretty solid.
Yeah, because he gave me Pollard.
Yep.
And Pollard usually will do something decent, so not a bad flex option and on a bad week. This week he's on bye, so that doesn't help me.
Yeah, right. I can dig it. I do have one more quick question. James Conner. Sorry, no Sid. This has hurt you again. Another former Steeler. We saw the week he had a week ago. He had a pretty solid game. Is he somebody that you can rely on? Dalton, I'll start with you.
So it's him and Drake, correct, for those 2 running backs?
Chase Edmonds. Drake is in Vegas.
I think Connor's going to end up being the main guy. That's just me. But, I mean, he's always been able to put up numbers.
Right.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think, to be honest, I think Connor's the bell cow now. He's going to get all the end zone, the goal line, or the red zone work, goal line work. Edmonds has become just the third down pass catcher. Connor's always been a great running back. His issue has been injuries. So as long as he's healthy, he should be able to produce, especially in that offense, because they can spread them out and they got so many weapons. The run game should open up very nicely for them anytime they need it. I like Connor a lot.
Interesting. All right, cool. Dave.
That offense is tricky. You know, 1 week AJ Green is, crushing fantasy owners' hearts across the country, and the next week he does nothing. Connor really, single digits first 2 weeks. Then he put up 18.3, 20.6, 10.7, and 8.1. I mean, that's 4 out of 5 weeks in double digits, hit 20 once. And like these guys said, I mean, he's really emerged as their guy. I don't see any reason not to trust him at this point.
Lord, and I'm about to catch a cannonball.
What's that?
And Dalton's watching videos.
Just getting a pop-up on my ESPN here.
Well, I will throw out last week we took a question from Chase Wellner. It was the choice between Booker, Williams, or Moss. Both Sid and Sean took Moss. I went with Damian Williams. I also thought that Chicago was going to win that game. He obviously didn't end up playing. So the guys got me on that, but I will note that Herbert was far and away the top scorer out of those three players.
Was he an option?
Yes.
Was he an option?
I thought the options were Booker, Moss, and Williams.
Right.
I am just saying that I think if Damian Williams had played in that game, he would have produced similarly, and I still would have won that one.
Right.
But
you guys got me. And that was actually that was the only lineup question we took last week. It was a lot of trade talk.
Yeah.
I will, maybe a couple weeks down the road, revisit some of those trades that we talked about and see how things shook out for people.
Yeah.
Report card from waivers last week. Both Sid and Sean urged you to pick up Taylor Heineke. They were wrong.
Yes, we were. I will take the L on that one.
We were all really down on Devontae Booker. He put up 10.9, pretty much exactly what we thought would happen. He was going to get his volume, but like I keep saying every week, volume does not always translate into production.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Stevenson, Sid put up Stevenson, and he put up a 15.2, which was actually the highest out of any of Sid's waiver picks. So, well done there, sir. Obviously, Kadarius Toney, great start, left with injury. Hardman was an 8.8. Not much movement on the wide receivers there. Tight ends, you had Ertz and Fermu, and both of them put up 12.9 and 12.8. So respectable numbers. But yeah, pretty productive waivers for you last week, Sid. I also had Kadarius Toney, Tim Patrick, and Khalil Herbert. Herbert knocked it out of the park. He would have been the highest overall scorer of any of our waivers. I don't have Tim Patrick's in front of me. I don't know why not, but
he scored a touchdown. He scored a touchdown. He did good. He had a good week.
I think he had about 13.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, when you're going to waivers, and obviously, like we talked about streaming this week, if you can get 10 to 15 points from whoever you picked up, I consider that a win. So a lot of wins here between Sid and I last week. Except for Taylor Heineke.
Oh,
hey, he got 10 points. You said 10 to 15.
9.28. 9.28.
Yeah, swing and miss. Can't win them all.
Yeah, can't. Hey, but shout out to the person that was not on that list that you did mention, David. I did pick up Khalil Herbert in a couple of my leagues, and he definitely did produce, at least for me, with the 97 yards and the touchdown. So, yeah, I'll take that. Would have loved 3 more yards for that 100-yard bonus, but, beggars can't be choosers. Let's go. Let's go. Wait a minute.
I got a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Lot of us out there still, because there isn't a single one of us who's dropped them. Probably. What do you guys do about Christian McCaffrey?
Ooh,
stash him and wait.
You gotta hold him.
What's that?
Yeah,
just wait. Just sit there and wait.
Hold him.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, you can try.
That's my plan. It's just, he broke my heart when he went back on IR, and then I lost CEH in the same week.
Hey,
I cannot reconcile the idea of dropping him at this point.
You can't drop him.
You can look at one of the top teams in the league. Try and trade him.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody that's deep. Somebody that's got a big bench that's willing to wait on him. I don't know. It's worth a shot. If you're over it and you're looking to unload him, obviously dropping him is not the move. Look for a trade. I guarantee. I would look. Depending on who you wanted, I'd look at a trade for Christian McCaffrey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Somebody would make an offer.
Okay, yeah. I believe somebody definitely will. Somebody needs him, or can wait for him. Right? Yo, we did have a question. Shout out to my guy Nathan Snell, who said, and this is something a lot of people are having problems with. Kareem Hunt is out. Who should he pick up?
I think his backup is the best option. Dearness Johnson, who David hit, just because he's going to be the guy. He's going to be the only running back they have, and it's going to be hard to see them moving the ball a lot, but he's going to be the guy. I think I looked it up. He averages 5 yards a carry, so he's a decent running back. He doesn't have bad stats. Obviously, he doesn't have a ton of work, so it's hard to go off of, but they're a running offense, so they're already set up to be able to run the ball well. If he is any decent at all, he should be able to at least get you, hopefully 10 points is all you're hoping for. It's like we said, it's buy him again. There's a lot of people on buys. There's not a lot of options out there, but I think he is the best option with Kareem out.
As we said, this should be an interesting week because practically my whole team was on buy this year. Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, great that they're all on bye the week after you beat me. Thanks. That's perfect. 1 week. Oh, man. Yes, sir. Any other questions? Everybody good? Because we can definitely move on. Sydney, I'm coming to you.